We're live.
We're live.
Excellent. Hey, everyone. Welcome to a new installment of a pretty exciting webinar from Prevu3D. I'm Michel Besner. I'm the CEO, and I've got two of my colleagues here today. So, Jay, say hello.
Hello. I'm here, Director of Customer Success at Prevu. I'm very excited to show us our new technology and where we're headed.
Excellent. And Phil.
Yeah, on my side is Philippe. I'm Director of Project Management at Prevu3D. I've been here since a while. Excited to show you what's coming up next in the project for sure.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of really nice new improvements in addition to our product line today that we'll talk about. And as always, there's a live chat. So if you want to, put in some questions and comments, we like these things to be interactive as much as possible. Basically, the format, I've got a few slides just to explain context of what you're going to see today. And then we have a live demo because we like to do to show things live because it's nerve-wracking for Phil and Jay because we're going to be running the demos, but it's great for our audience to see how it's working actually live. What we'll be showing you today. Sounds good. Are we all ready to start? Okay. So what we're going to talk today about is a new component to our product line, and we'll explain visually where does that fit with the rest of our product ecosystem. But RealityTwin is really this next level of a visual twin platform that we've been developing for the past couple of years. And it's really designed to visualize how engineering workflows, maintenance, and operations are going to be working. And we'll explain how we see this throughout this presentation. But really, it's been an interesting journey for us because we've embarked initially as a company from a design engineering process. And because we create these amazing visuals, we've been getting more and more customers asking us about, hey, what about connecting, system of records and, enabling maintenance and workers and operations and so on. And this is really where it's starting to happen. And you'll see a lot of key pieces that we've been talking about in the past couple of years and things that we've been releasing that is basically in preparation for this. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so key aspect, when you think of a visual twin, especially from a maintenance operation perspective, it's really about how do you manage a single version of the truth, right? You can't have two visual representation of your existing as-built environment. There's only one version of it that exists, and you want to work with that version as closely as possible. And, of course, this is something that we believe that it starts with 3D scanning, reality capture. Next slide. Where, we've obviously are known for taking 3D scanning data and creating these amazing visual meshes, as we'll see into the next video that's going to play now. And when you look at this, really you have an environment that is as close as reality it is. And so, obviously, that's something we're known for and we continue to improve on. Actually, something that we'll talk about today is how much we've expanded the support of different scanning devices into our product, and we'll show that part of the live demo as well. One thing that we've been contemplating about solving in how to manage a single visual twin is that nobody's going to scan the entire facility all the time. You probably will do a first scan and then you'll rescan certain pieces that are updated. So you need to think of how do you maintain a visual twin with multiple scans. And as much as a lot of companies are blending or merging point clouds together, merging a visual layer like a meshed environment is a whole different degree of complexity. And so something we've been working on for the past couple of years is what we call RealityComposer, which is really the ability to combine and combining easily multiple 3D scans together. So we have a bit of a video here that is a sneak peek of what we will see today live is how do you combine drone LiDAR and terrestrial and SLAM data sets all into a single contiguous environment. And so if you have scanned your facility with a drone, then you want to have a specific room that you're going to rescan with a TLS because you want higher fidelity for your engineering project, or you've changed a specific machine, so you want to use a, let's say, like a iPhone, local, scanning application like Scaniverse, for example. And how do you combine all these meshes into a single interactive environment? And that's really what we've been developing, and we've been showcasing a few things like that in the past couple of years. And now it's released and available for our customers to start playing with this. And so that's really a key aspect. So how do you, take point cloud data, scanning data, photogrammetry, and create the best mesh looking possible, and combine those meshes into a single environment is part of what we're showing and launching here today. The other thing that we've been talking about for the past year and more is, when you look at a scan, you're really seeing, your eyes are seeing, equipment, pumps and gauges and other things, but the computer just sees triangles. And so we've been building this layer called RealityAsset. And that's really important because when you think of managing a, scan-based 3D environment, you don't want your data tagged to the actual mesh or the point cloud, because what happens if you rescan that information, right? So we've built basically a semantical layer. You can play the video, will help here. And so you can see here that we've built this system that looks very crude because you have like bounding boxes. Like, some people say, well, that's not very precise, but actually it's a future-proof system that we've developed that uses different techniques. Like here we have a AI-based magic wand, like in Photoshop. But basically this placeholder is really about how to create a wrapper system around your scanning data. So if you were to rescan with a different scanning device, your semantical layer that we call RealityAsset is not going to be impacted unless some of these assets have moved, and we can talk about that. But really, it makes it where your asset definitions, the templates you're linking to your assets, and the metadata you're going to be connecting to your assets is not broken because you just uploaded a new scan element into your composition. And so that's a really key aspect as well into what we've been building. I see here Stefan has a question about RealityComposer. Will 3D scans require control points? We'll show that live actually, but no, you don't need the control points, but it certainly helps because we're one of the few software that is fully georeferenced. And so if you have your scans properly georeferenced, they'll automatically match and align into our system with no effort. Of course, otherwise we have some manual alignment tools that you can use to position a scan that was not captured with control points. But certainly we recommend to our customers to have georeferencing on there. So these are key pieces, and now let's explore the bigger story about what we've been developing for the past couple of years. And so if you've been tracking a lot of the work we've been doing, we've completely revamped our web application now called RealityPlatform, where really think of it as like a Windows or a Dropbox of reality capture. So taking in different sources of data from different vendors, from different equipment, and managing your sites, managing your environments into a single platform that is very easy to access. There's actually no cost on users on the platform. So you can invite as many people. You can have tens of thousands of employees on the platform to access your scanning data and your different sites. And that's really a key element. And so from a historical perspective, we have RealityPlan. I mean, we're not going to talk too much about RealityPlan today because there's going to be other things to talk about that in later webinars. But that's where we've done all of the legwork from an engineering perspective. And when you think about engineering, think of it as sort of like an offline, process where when you plan a turnaround or redesigning a production line, you're basically creating new iterations of future state of your as-built world, right? And so we have been building these tools. We have the unique capabilities of creating design layouts and moving things around. And now we have all these deep native integrations with, Revit, Inventor, AutoCAD, and other systems. And you're really creating that engineering design side of the equation. Now with RealityTwin, it's a full web application. And that is really about how to maintain that single version of the truth, including this RealityComposer that we talked about, and you'll see it live in a few moments. But that's where you have this layer of assets that now can be connected to different system of records. So if you have like your ERP or MES system or PLM or IoT systems, and you see a few like, brands here like ACP, Siemens, Aviva, and so on, is really how do you connect your different systems you have in your enterprise ecosystem? And so our goal is not to actually move the data, but more to map the data into a visual layer. That makes it possible to understand, I have data in different places. How do I connect this data into a visual layer that helps me get more visual context on the environment? And so that's definitely what we've been building. Here that Vishnu has a question about, is the RealityPlatform battle tested for outdoor industry plant scans? Yes, we have a lot of customers that are using our tools for oil and gas related projects, which is outdoor type of situations. And of course, we've got a lot of manufacturing sites with different companies that are also using our product on this. The quality of meshing, of course, is dependent on the quality of the scanning work and the device. You've got different devices that would support. Some of them are lesser quality, some of them are higher quality. So with the right scanning provider and the right device, you can achieve amazing results, as we often show into our products, but we made it flexible. We can support different types of devices.
And if I may add, regarding the redundant points aspect and kind of the clash that you may have between two different scans, during the live demo, I will cover some of it and show you some of the tools and capabilities that allow you to mask some area from different scans. So it's not only combining scans together, but also masking some areas and some cleaning capabilities as well. So I will show you that.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of flexibility in that. Yeah, go on, Jay. Sorry.
Oh, no, I just kind of wanted to highlight the masking capability is more of a cleanup tool than really a masking tool. So it really kind of prepares that model for multiple organizations within a division or within an organization to kind of streamline that data flow.
Absolutely. And so with this, we've been really creating a larger ecosystem. And one thing that I like to use as an illustration, so part of my street cred of my history, so my first company created basically the first 3D interchange format for 3D software called FBX that most 3D software today support. And so I have a lot of experience in interchange. And so we're really sort of creating the FBX of reality capture, really creating a platform that's agnostic, that's not vendor-centric. There's other solutions that are vendor-centric per se. In our case, we are looking to be agnostic on the type of devices that you're supporting, the type of CAD, BIM software integrations that you're using, or enterprise system of records that you're using. So there's no constraint of I want to work with a certain device or a certain CAD system or a certain system of records to connect to the system. We're pretty much agnostic, and we're trying to always to add more support to different systems. We have already a wide array of integration points, and we have more in the works. We are also working on a Reality Connect API SDK that will allow third-party companies to add their own implementation to connect to our ecosystem. So really creating an easily accessible environment to access, manage reality capture data, and manage that single version of the truth from both an engineering and operations perspective. Before we go into the candy stuff on the live demo, is there any question from the audience that we can answer right now? Don't be shy. We like questions. We like this to be interactive or not. Depends if we get questions or not. Let's wait another 5 seconds. Anyone? I guess everybody's just want to see the live stuff and they don't care about asking questions just yet. And then they'll just like start reading in the questions. Phil, are you ready to show this new capabilities that we have?
Yeah, I will do a small walkthrough on how to create the twin as well, and where the data is coming from, in the management on the Reality Platform part first. So some of you may know this is what Reality Platform look like, where you can see there are the divisions on the left side panel in your sites. So if you were to create a new twin, you would just go over here, create your new sites, and give it a name. So new site, and you can give it a location in the workspace. You can move the pin, enter latitude, longitude if you need to, and you can add some fancy thumbnail if you want to represent your sites. And once you do that, it becomes sites on the platform where you can upload your different reality capture data related to that site. And that site become easily shareable to others. You can quickly go and share your site if you need to. And we have a bunch of roles and permissions in place. We do have SSO and other components to manage your 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 sites.
Yeah.
When it comes to uploading your data, you can quickly use one of the shortcuts over here. So let's say new point cloud. And that's where you will see our device-based upload workflow. So like Michel mentioned, we are looking to expand more and more devices that we support on the platform. We have a lot of them over here. And based on every devices, the upload process might change a little bit depending on the files that we require from each of those providers.
Phil, just want to stop you for a second because it seems that we get a message from David that the video is not streaming right now.
Oh.
Can we verify that in marketing? In the meantime, okay, Steven says it's working fine on his side. So maybe David, you want to refresh your screen. But in the meantime, there's a question from Brennan. So we'll just answer that because I interrupted you. Sorry for a second there. So Brennan is asking, is there a timeline for the Reality Connect API? It's not yet announced when, but it's coming very, very soon. So if you're interested to know more about that, please contact us. And we'll be more than happy to let you know as soon as it's available. We do have early access partners that will soon have their hands on it. So we definitely would be open to make that possible.
Yeah, I think we even started this week to test with one of the partners. So yeah, and it's
exactly.
coming up.
Okay, so let's go back to the demo. It seems it's only David that has a screen issue. So sorry about that, David. Okay, Phil, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, what I was mentioning is from the upload process, you can select your different providers. Let's say you pick Tremble, you will see the different devices that we support from them. And based on the workflow that you pick, you will be asked for different files. So if you pick the flex scan from ZNF, you would need to put your point cloud, your trajectory, and optionally your images. So depending on the device, you will have different upload options. And once your data is uploaded, you will be able to convert it to a mesh if you want to, and then open the twin. So I will just go inside a site that already contains data that was uploaded. I won't do the upload process live because, as you may know, flying cloud can be quite heavy, and it's not super relevant to see an upload bar process.
That'd be a very long webinar.
Yeah, depending on your internet connection speed. So what we have over here is a site that contains a TLS dataset, a SLAM, and a drone LiDAR. So what I will do is enter the twin over here. So I will just access it. So it will load in.
RealityTwin also it's a full web experience, right? And so that's something that we've been developing a lot of capabilities to enable managing multiple layers of scanning data and everything like that, fully running on a web experience that's really seamless.
Yeah, and it's fully collaborative as well. Since it's on the web, it's much easier on that side. So yeah, what you see over here is kind of the landing page when you enter the twin. I will quickly switch to another workspace over here, the RealityComposer. So the workspace are kind of it's a workspace that contains dedicated tools for some work. So for RealityComposer, the goal is to combine different layers together and have the masking, cleaning, and things like that. You want to add something, Michel?
Yeah, think of like the workspaces as like apps, right? So we're creating different environments that have specific purposes, and so when you're looking to update your visual layer of your twin, that's why we created RealityComposer, because that allows you to do the blending of different layers and cleanup and so on, which you don't need when you're just using the twin for operational purposes.
Yeah. So what we see at the screen currently is the drone scan that was overlaid by a SLAM, device and then a TLS. So they are all combined together. So for the sake of the presentation, I will just delete the TLS layer. And let's say you just scan that middle part with the TLS scanner, and you would like, since it's sometimes higher resolution with TLS scans, you would like more details in that specific area. You would just go and add your layer, select it, add layer like this, and automatically it will position at the right place if you are using control points and you're using the same coordinate system. Otherwise, you would need to manually change the position of it. And I think I don't recall who asked, we should ask the questions about our content points. So as you can see, that pink area is overshooting a lot of the purple area. And we developed some tools to help address that concern of, overlapping points, basically. So you can easily select one of your layer like this. So that's the TLS part. And you can add some boxes to specify I want to keep a specific area. So let's say I want to keep just the middle part. I will just extend that a little bit, pick the box over here, like this. And on the bottom right, it might be a little bit small, but you can see the behavior with everything composed together. So we are restricting the area based on the box over here.
Yeah, there's just a couple of questions, so we'll answer them as they go, right? So Aaron is asking if there's any hardware recommendation on the computer. I think just like a decent graphics card, like nothing crazy. Like even myself, I run on a Mac, so I don't have like a crazy machine and it's working perfectly. And so I think that that's definitely very flexible from running on different systems. Ryan's asking about registration in composers. We don't do registration per se. We can manually align layers together, but we don't have advanced registration tools. That's something we recommend that you use the typical software that comes with your hardware scanners at this point. Though definitely something that more curious to know about how we can help you on your mapping per se. JP now has a question. How far can I get with the model using a 360 camera? So we are building more integration points using photogrammetry. So for example, if you have photogrammetry done in other software, you can bring those meshed data sets into our system. So that's one example, and definitely we can talk more offline about how we can enable some specific photogrammetry models using 360 cameras. Is something that definitely we're seeing more use cases, and so that's definitely something we can talk about. And yeah, there's a lot of questions today. It's great.
Yep.
John's asking, yeah.
Oh, good with John's question. Yeah.
Yeah. John's asking about once data sets are combined, can you open them in the RealityPlan to do more modifications? So the answer is yes, that's coming. It's not just yet available. It's coming next month. But yes, RealityPlan will be fully retrofitted to support multiple scans that are done into RealityComposer into RealityPlan. So that's something that we've been getting from customers asking about how to do layouts, design layouts using multiple scans. And so that's coming as well as part of our work. Mathieu is asking, can we create other shapes than cubes? So yes, we can definitely create different non-cubic shapes. There's a bit of a drawing tool here that you can basically freeform and draw a specific shape and then create a height overlay on what you want to do here.
Yeah, and one thing that is interesting here is that you can create multiple shapes as well. Like as you can say, I have that box in the middle, keeping that part, but I can also keep the corner of that building if I would like to. And on the bottom right, you see there's like a small pink corner over here. So that would mean that the pink layer is overlaying the purple one. Basically, the left side order matters. So ideally, you put your biggest scans first, and then over time you add layers on top of it. So if you were to rescan, let's say that middle part a year later, you can just update the small components that changed, basically, just by adding the layer, masking the area that you would like to preserve, and it will prioritize on top of all the underneath layer.
Absolutely. Another question from Megan about if we can review, compare, and contrast the different scanning layers. This is something that is not available right now. We're certainly looking into it. We already have, as part of a reality plan, ways of comparing your as-built to your CAD models. So we do have the technology to compare different type of data, but it's not into the product per se yet to compare 2 layers of scanning data. But certainly something that we've been getting customer requests. So we'd not be surprised that that's something that comes sooner than later into the product, but not just yet. It's not there yet, but certainly something we're looking to do at some point. Okay, so let's continue this demo.
Yeah, sure. Another interesting feature from the Composer is the cleaning capabilities. So as you can see over here, we do have like well, the cars that are creating some noise. So we have the capabilities to also exclude some part of the environment. So over here, it's already done. Basically, what you see in red is the excluded area. So we have a box surrounding that car currently, but you can exit that if you need to. And you can create new ones in as much as you want. And once you press done, basically, as you can see, the cars are just removed from that layer. So it helps for cleaning noise in your environment if you need to. So it's combining, but also cleaning. So there's a lot of things that you can do over here.
Yeah, and it's automatic, like as you can see here, like in a second, he went from editing and exclusion, and then it was updated. So there's no, we used to have like some cutting tools that were a bit longer to process. Now it's all automatic into this new application.
Yeah, that's true. Like now everything is live. Basically, you just hit done and boom, the area just disappear.
Absolutely. Okay, so now we've prepped our settings. We've got all these layers combined together. I think we're now ready to go to the twin, and there's nice things to see here.
Okay. All right. So give it a second for loading. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that box with the network is not super great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, inside RealityTwin, basically you have all your reality asset that was created. So earlier, Michel shown that we are able to create multiple reality assets and attach data. So what I will show you here is some assets that were already defined. So on the left side panel, you see all those assets. And we do have like a search bar over here where you can type in your assets. And pretty soon we will have like a lot of filtering capabilities as well to filter by asset type. So I can like search for like some things by name or properties, and it will allow you to teleport toward those assets. And
one thing we forgot to mention about assets is that with RealityPlatform now we have a whole advanced templating system where you can use like standards like CFOS or IFC to define your templating of your assets. So if you want to create information about your maintenance and health and safety or operational information that you want to attach to your different assets, you can create all your kind of groupings. And each grouping, or actually each metadata field, can be linked to an external integration point. So if you want to connect all your health and safety documentation that you have in your document management system into that block of data, you can configure as the way you want your different asset templates. And that's a key part in how you can make this system very configurable. Here, Phil just clicked on an asset that has a lot of the information stored into Aviva Pi, which is often used by manufacturing companies. And so that's a way where you can define blocks of information that can include identification, design, functional information. All this information also will be able to be controlled by user permissions. And so there's a lot of flexibility here to enable user access and information based on your roles and the responsibilities of the company. If you want to be giving access to someone that's in the health and safety team or not, then you can control that type of information. That's part of what we've been building as a system to be fully configurable and heavy on user permissions.
yeah, we'll show the asset templates right after this, because one thing over here that might be hard to see because it's already configured, but basically here, the only value that we input was the Pi asset path, and that's kind of that weird ID over here that is connected to Aviva Pi server, and automatically all the underlying data was fetched from the system. So nothing was entered manually. It was just connected to Aviva Pi in that case. But you could do the same with SAP or other system of record like this.
Yeah. Excellent. One thing that maybe as you're here right now, maybe you just want to switch to the photo mode, because that's something that's really, really powerful. So we have the best meshes out there in the industry, but some people might not be all comfortable with looking at a mesh, because if you're not a technical person, you don't understand why the meshes are not a perfect looking image. Now, everybody's familiar with Google Street View. And so what you have here, and it's very subtle, but it's important to understand that, is that I can navigate into the photo mode, right? Like you have in Google Street View, but I can click on 3D assets. And so that's a bit of magic that we've built into the system, where I can give this to a very non-technical person, and they can navigate in photo mode and still click on the assets and have access to the information that are linked to this. And so it's creating these new type of visual experiences that nobody else is able to do, and really having this, selectable assets within an image of a 3D navigable environment. And that's really where we're going with RealityTwin, making things a lot more visual and easy. So I see here Vishnu has a question about plans to enable asset tagging, segmentation, AR, VR features. So a lot of questions in one question. Yes, so connecting to asset infrastructure management platforms, it's part of the integration points that we are able to do. AR, VR is currently possible into our desktop product called RealityPlatform. We are looking to expand that capabilities on the web in the future. As for asset tagging and segmentation, we already have some tools in there, so that's already a foundation. We are looking to add more ingestion points. So if you have other software that are able to do segmentation and classification and asset tagging, we can certainly ingest that data into our data pipeline to further enrich our asset system. So if you have any specific examples or workflow that you want us to validate if we can support, certainly we can talk about that after this webinar. We'd be more than happy to talk about this.
Yeah. What I was about to show is also you can easily create new assets if you need to. So it's pretty similar to what we have seen in the video. You can either use the box tool, there's the pipe tool, but also the magic one available. If you use the box tool, you can change the extent of the box like this. And once you're happy with the shape, you just hit create assets and you can give it a name. And that's where, so if I call it, I'm not even sure if it's a pump. I think it's like the air compressor actually.
Yeah.
And then you can hit confirm, and once it's created, it become an asset, and that's where we will see over here all the predefined properties that was associated to the air compressor. So as you can see over here, there's a bunch of empty fields, so you can fill them manually if you need to. If you have like an integration with an enterprise systems, maybe you just need to fill up some of the properties to connect and fetch the data. So yeah, if it's an Aviva Pi, it would be the Pi asset path to fetch the data. But here it's just manual workflow where you need to enter those values manually.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more questions here. So Jean-Philippe is asking, when sharing a project, does everyone you share the project with needs to create a user profile? So the answer is no. There's two ways of sharing. So you can share a, let's call it a public link that can be attached with a user password that doesn't require any user credentials to access that specific link. But of course, and a lot of our customers prefer to have more control over their user access, and therefore you can create user access points for your contractors and third parties. Like we said, there's no fee per user to access the platform. There's only cost for people that are editing the twin and so on. There's no direct fees to have users accessing a project in a user project. And of course, like Phil said, we do support single sign-on, so we can definitely enable multiple single sign-on configurations for enterprise support. David is asking about support for radiance field data. It's something that, of course, we're looking very closely. There's a lot of excitement about radiance field. Maybe you've seen one of my posts lately about some innovation work that we're doing. Nothing to announce just yet, but certainly expect more news about how we expect to support Readings Field in the future. It's going to be an interesting situation there. Chris is asking about Autodesk Construction Cloud. Yes, this is something that is under works. It's not just done yet, but we are certainly adding this as part of our roadmap. So we will have a really good Autodesk Construction Cloud integration point soon enough. And so if you have a specific questions on how you'd like that to work, we're certainly going to look forward to your feedback.
Yeah,
On this.
That said, like we might start a little bit more on the engineering side of things with ACC for connecting the models. But I would be curious, Chris, to discuss with you as well on the asset management component of it. If you want to, we can have a chat about this for sure.
Yeah. And another question here from Jonas about can live data, for example, from sensors be displayed on the assets? So this is not yet available, but certainly in the works to have some kind of like, let's call it widgets that could be linked to your assets and display real-time data on the assets. And so there's a whole area of like visual representations and displays that will come on top of RealityTwin. And so we really want to make this an easy system to create different visuals, different ways of contextualizing information, including pop-up display of information on specific assets. And so that will also come with our advanced search capabilities. You'll actually be able to create advanced search results that can be actually reusable and trigger specific visual components. A lot of stuff like that that's coming around the corner that will do other webinars beyond this initial sneak peek of this initial release of RealityTwin.
Yeah, and typically for the connecting the sensors, you will most likely end up using kind of a middleman software that manage IoT overall, and that's probably where we would connect together, depending on your setup. But that's a case by case, and we can discuss about it for sure.
We're out of time, actually. This has been very entertaining. A lot of great questions. Really thank you for the audience for that. Maybe one last question before we get to the end of this webinar.
I don't know if we have like 2 minutes to show the asset template.
Let's show the asset templates, and we'll see if we have questions in the meantime.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Good. So like Michel mentioned, we can predefine asset templates. So the asset templates contains the properties. So let's say we take that reverse memory skid. As you can see, we predefined kind of sections. This one is a bit particular because it's using the Aviva Pi integration. So we have everything over here in place for you to manage by yourself, the integrations. So we don't necessarily need to get involved. We can assist you in that configuration process for sure. But it's a self-service platform as well. So you don't rely on us to do the integration work. You can do it by yourself. You can easily like add integration points, connect. We have all the toolings to test the connections and things like that, configure the properties and all that. So,
yeah, and also maybe Jake, you can talk about it, but certainly we have a lot of solution partners like Kinetic Vision, and so working with Jay in customer success, we have partners that can help on integration points and so on.
Yeah, partners can help with data creation, data capture, all the way through the integration component.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Jeppe had a question about could we use the CAD model to create these reality assets to accelerate the classification and tagging process. We are certainly working on that. It's not yet available, but certainly is one of those high top features that we've been getting requests on, and certainly we see a lot of value in enabling that as well. Our vision really is to have an environment where your CAD, your as-built are all living together into a single coherent environment. And so certainly if you have the CAD models, we're looking forward pretty soon to enable automatic asset creations based on the CAD data to accelerate that process. Ryan also had, maybe that's our last question, any plans for interactive widgets? Yes, we talked about that a bit earlier, that we want to have like live interactive widgets that will be displayed all on top of the environment. And so that's coming soon. We'll have other webinars to show other cool features. There's a lot of things we're adding to the product as we go. So we have been on a very crazy pace. I like one of my favorite comments from a customer recently, we're moving faster than a Learjet. And so there'll be a lot more improvements in the next several months onto this product and the other overall product ecosystem that we've been building. But yeah, really looking forward to this. Maybe one last thing before everybody leaves. If you want to do this live poll, love to get your feedback about, what are the features you found more interesting in here, or the one that we found the most valuable. And if you want to enter that, that'd be fantastic. Besides that, Jay and Phil, thank you for your time today. It's always good to do these webinars together. This has been a really good one with lots of good questions. And so very happy about that. And if you want to talk to our sales team, we're available to work with you either doing a pilot project. We're very flexible. Our pricing model is very flexible. We can do a very low end, quick pilot projects to, of course, large scale deployments. So we definitely are able to adapt based on your timeline and your needs and how to get your company onboarded with these type of solutions. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been great. And if you have any other questions that we didn't answer, feel free to reach out by email or our website, and we'll be more than happy to engage on deeper conversations.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, guys.